All right, we are live. AJ Allmendinger spoils it for the playoff drivers. He becomes the first non-playoff driver to win this season in the playoffs. The number 16 car, nobody really talked about him, honestly, which is surprising because he is a road course ace. He's won, I think, about 4 or 5 races in the Xfinity Series at the Roval. So should have definitely been on the radar, but he gets it done today. And advancing to the round of 8 are William Byron at 40-41, Martin Truex Jr. at 40-36, Denny Hamlin sits at 40-32, Kyle Larson at 40-24, Chris Buescher at 40-21, Christopher Bell 40-16, as well as Tyler Reddick at 40-16, and Ryan Blaney, your last man in 40-14, or last man in points, first man or last man out now as it stands. Like if you went to the cutoff line, he would be the lowest as it stands right now going in to the round of 8. So the poll question, of course, is who is most likely not to make, of course, the final 4. And I just put the bottom 4 in points right now. Christopher Buescher at 421, Christopher Bell at 416, Reddick at 416, Blaney at 414. Early on, 25% apiece for Bell and Blaney, Reddick at 40%, and that just changed. 40% for Bell and Reddick. Everybody thinking that CB17 has the best chance right now of going in of the people that have voted on the poll so far. Did Ty Dillon make the round of 8? Oh, he's locked in. He's basically locked into the round of 4 on Earth too, OJ and Toothpaste. He's like, he's the equivalent of Billy Big Hat, a.k.a. Sombrero Grande, on Earth too. There's no doubt about it. Cool to see AJ win, though. Yeah, the best thing about AJ Allmendinger winning is always the interviews afterwards. That dude is so real. Hey, he doesn't really hold anything back. He was like, I hate that I'm crying, but I'm so happy I won. I was really hoping he would give a shout out to Mr. Tickles the cat. He had a pet cat that passed away earlier this season. I was really, really thinking he was going to give a shout out to Mr. Tickles, but of course that didn't happen. Bubba's bubble burst, says Jamie Schweitzer. Try saying that 3 times fast. Yeah, they had a lot of things go. They had pretty good, decent speed on the day, and he did pretty well, I think. Some interesting strategy calls, but then again, he also had some bad luck. Like he had to cycle through the ignition box. Something was going on with that, and then probably the biggest thing was he got caught up in the Daniel Suarez deal. Daniel Suarez locked up the brakes and got into Austin Cindric, plowed into him. And Cindric, I think, hit Bubba Wallace or something like that. I think that's the wreck that happened. Anyway, Bubba Wallace got spun. I thought it was the Daniel Suarez deal. I can't remember correctly. I think it was Suarez, though. So after that, he had to come in. He had to serve the penalty first off, which I thought if you were involved in the wreck and missed it, you didn't have to serve the penalty if you were part of the wreck, because I thought it was like a judgment call in that situation. Also, if you're avoiding a wreck, you don't have to come and stop. So that's something I need to. I looked up the rule during the race. I couldn't find anything conclusive. All I could find is if you're trying to avoid a race, you don't have to do the stop penalty. But anyway, that cost him a bunch of track position. And then just he ended up finishing 16th. So he rallied back from it. But had to come in and get tires because he flat spotted the tires. But it's all good. I like the late start time. Was able to get some family time in after the race and before the stream. Hey, appreciate it there. Say, Kyle, yeah. I try to let Brock Beard, everybody else, Iceberg, and all them. I try to let them sort of get their deals out of the way, and then I try to jump on. Or I think Brock Beard goes for a really long time, so at least I like to let him get started good. I try not to compete. I try to slide in and work with everybody. Not that I would take a ton of viewers away. Those are all established guys. Let's see. Can you imagine if AJ gets DQ'd after the post race speech? Since I say Kyle. So that would be interesting. The win would go to Sombrero Grande in that situation. And if that happens, that would – I feel like the way William Byron has run, he's got to be the favorite, him and Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin had an awful day. Even in practice, he spun out. He spun out multiple times during the race. And I think he finally ran over enough stuff. I don't know that toe link wasn't injured when he spun out in practice or qualifying and cost Ty Gibbs his lap. But shout out to Ty Gibbs too. Ty Gibbs had a hot rod today, and he did everything he could do to win too. I should give him a shout out too. But Kyle Busch, he did everything he could do to get into the round of 8. Just wasn't his day. But I feel like they did everything they could do. I feel like RCR did everything they could do. They brought a great car. Just there were 2 cars that happened to be faster than them today. But yeah, good run for all those guys. Suarez was driving like an idiot today, says Jamie Schweitzer. He was being hyper aggressive today. I feel like Daniel Suarez, for whatever reason, I don't know. He was just more aggressive today than he normally is. So I don't know if the pressure, if he's got some type of pressure, or if he just really wanted to win this race. But yeah, he made contact with a lot of people. And the contact wasn't like. It wasn't like he was trying to hit them, but they were bad mistakes. Like he locked up the brakes when he got into Cindric, and then there was the other one. Like I even saw him, like he was dooring people for no reason back when he was back in the pack. So they were just he wasn't trying to take anybody out so much as he was just way over driving the car. He was way over driving the car today, more than I've ever really seen him do it. He's normally more of a finesse guy at these road courses and stuff like that, but today, no finesse at all. He was a bulldozer. Feel for Bubba, but can't reach him, says Mark Barnum. Fell for Bubba, but can't reach him, says Mark Barnum. Larson is in the next round. He needs to go win a Homestead, 100%. Homestead's the type of track that really suits Larson. There's no doubt about that. So I think he's got a really good chance there. I forget what tracks are in the next round, but who's got the best statistically? Who's got the best numbers in the next round? It's going to be all messed up because I don't have this written exactly in front of me. There it is. There is the paper with the numbers. Byron at 10.7 and Hamlin. Hamlin has the best numbers in the next round at 10.2. I think Larson actually Kyle Busch has the best numbers, but he's not in it, so I can't. Let's see here. Hamlin and Byron have the best numbers. Keslowski had good numbers too, but he's eliminated. Yeah, so I did this and I eliminated people before I could actually get to their numbers. But yeah. Where's Larson's numbers? Oh yeah, no, Larson's got great numbers. Miami, an average finish of 2.5. Martinsville, average finish of 8.2. And Vegas, an average finish of 9.8. So 9.8, 2.5, and 8.2 are the average finish for Larson. So I would say he's pretty strong. He's got pretty strong numbers going into this next round. And, of course, his numbers at Phoenix. Where was he at Phoenix? Phoenix. Where's his average finish? Average finish of 10.35 at Phoenix. So his average finish, I think, at Phoenix is pretty good as well. Let's see. Feel for Bubba. I got you, Mark Barnum. I got you. I got what you're saying now. Feel for Bubba, but can't reach him. I got you. I feel you. Let's see. Get rid of the backstretch chicane, says Uptown Donkey. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they were just running over it anyway. Like it was just everything you could do to barely keep your left side or right side wheels, depending on which piece of chicane you were touching on there. So it kind of was like whatever. I don't know. Maybe make the turtles bigger so that you can't run over them. I don't know what you can do in that situation. But then you run a risk like they ran at the Indy road course at one time, where somebody could run over the chicane and just take it with them and it gets stuck under their car. Like you run into all kinds of stuff when you do that. The stage caution flag needs to go bye-bye, says Joseph Wooten. Yeah, so that's what race was it? Sonoma, everybody cried, oh, we need the stage cautions back at road courses. We need the stage cautions back at road courses. Well, now we get the stage cautions back at road courses, and people don't want the stage cautions at road courses. So we're hard to please as NASCAR fans. It's just the way it is. I think they should get rid of stage cautions altogether, period, end of discussion. Like, you can keep the stages if you want to, just get rid of the stage cautions. They don't do anything to add to the race, in my opinion. Truex has been so disappointing in the playoffs. He's had a bad run so far. To be fair, statistically, this was his worst round. If he could make it through this round of the playoffs, he actually should have really good numbers going forward. Disappointing in the playoffs so far. Larson has had some very unfortunate circumstances in these playoffs. Kyle Busch drove the tires off of it today. Stinks that he's out, says Dustin Walker. Yep, it's unfortunate, but one bad race in these rounds can cost you, and it cost him, and now he's going home. Two bad races, technically, for him in his case. Do you see the 17 making it to the Final Four? I'll tell you what, before I answer that question, man, am I bummed out. I never thought I'd be this bummed out about Keslowski not making it to the round of 8, but he has had such a renaissance season, not only for him, but for RFK. It really stinks that story, the emphasis on that story has gone away now, because I was really wanting to see him do something. I still hope he wins a race. But just the way he's turned RFK around, the way he has run this season compared to how he ran last season, everything was just really cool. And it sucks that his story won't get talked about anymore because he's out of the playoffs. And I say that because A.J. Allmendinger led the vast majority of this race. And with 20 laps to go, they finally addressed A.J. Allmendinger leading the damn race and actually talked about A.J. Allmendinger stuff instead of just Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott, because I feel like that's the majority of what they spent the day talking about. So that was kind of frustrating that if you're not in the playoffs, they're just not going to talk about you. And unfortunately, going forward, Keslowski no longer in the hunt for the championship, although he made the 16 and the round of 12. Just thinks that his story is gone. Do I think Chris Buescher can make the Final Four? Absolutely. Chris Buescher has really good numbers. This was going to be the round that he struggled in. So from here on out, where's Buescher's numbers? Buescher has an average finish of 16.6, 18.3, and 18.0 at Vegas, Miami, and Martinsville. So it doesn't look really good, but if you factor in that a couple of those races he had DNFs, those numbers actually start to look substantially better if you throw the DNFs out. And once again, like I was talking about on this one, I was like, I'm surprised that Michael McDowell's average finish here is so bad. He must have had mechanical problems at other races, so that actually proved out. The stats behind that proved out to be true today. Once again, they had some mechanical issues. Power steering was out. And then that just led to various other problems for McDowell as he ran into several things on the racetrack, I'm assuming, as his arms got tired. Chrome Diesel, what's going on, my friend? David says, I shouldn't be happy, but I am that Bubba didn't make it. Hopefully Truex gets speed for the next round. Yeah, I think going forward, like I said, Truex has good numbers at the next tracks, so he should be good to go. Any talk of some kind of quick disconnection or all-in-one harness, keep drivers safe from smokes and fires, says Brickyard Brickhead. Yeah, I don't know. That Ricky Stenhouse situation, I still don't exactly know what caused that fire. I don't know if he blew the engine and the oil lines came loose, and that's where the fire came from. But it was a substantial fire up underneath there, so I kind of want to see what was going on with that and where it came from. And he said there was smoke in the interior even before that, so it makes me wonder what exactly went on with that situation. Do we have another spontaneous combustion car, or was it something like an oil line broke or something like that is caused that huge fire there? In the Totino's Pizza Rolls 47, Harris Teeter machine. It wasn't Kroger today. It was the Harris Teeter machine of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. III. Looking forward to seeing what Busch and Wallace do now that the pressure is off. Says one wise guy. Yeah, it's. I'm hoping that either one of those guys can get another win. Especially Kyle Busch, because it just makes it interesting every time he wins, because I can bring up the Kyle Busch versus Toyota, who's got the most wins. Right now, I think he's tied with Reddick, if I'm not mistaken. So as far as the direct replacement, he's kind of the direct replacement would be, well, it depends on how you look at it. The direct RCR replacement, he's tied. The direct replacement for Joe Gibbs Racing, he's up 3-0. And overall, Toyota's had a killer season. So Toyota overall has had a bunch of wins this year. Dinger, man of the people in the crowd, says one wise guy. Yeah, that was really cool too. After the race, he went into the stands. Now a race fan says Roval or Oval. I tell you what, I'll put that up as a poll question, and I won't spoil it just yet. But I'll end this poll question now. Blaney is most likely not to make the round of 4, according to you guys, at 48%. So I'm going to go ahead and end that one. And we'll put up the other poll. All right, new poll question is up. Which do you like better at Charlotte, the Roval or the Oval? Go ahead and get your votes in now. Right now, 100% Oval. And I'll keep mine to myself. That way I don't influence the poll. And after the poll goes on for a little while, I'll talk about what I like. Let's see here. Lost my spots. I'm going to go back up here. Keselowski's championship contention is killed, says Jamie Schweitzer. Yeah, that's thinks that's gone. Let's see here. Okay, Dinger, man of the people. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed the playoff flaws will not be exposed by a winless champ with Keselowski out, says Chrome Diesel. Yeah, that's another thing that kind of stinks. But he did make it at least to the round of 12 with no dubs so far. Stages at RCs make it too hard. Xfinity Series, we still got a chance. There's still one or two guys in the Xfinity Series that don't have a win that are in it. Stages at road courses make it too hard to follow the AB strategy, says Uptown Donkey. Yeah, I agree. It takes a lot of the planning out of it. The only thing that throws a monkey wrench into those particular deals is if a weirdly timed caution comes out and some guys pit and some guys don't. That's the only time that those things really get shaken up because of the two stops for stage breaks. Stage cautions are dumb. They only brought back for entertainment purposes, says Never Race Fan. 100%. That's the only reason they brought them back, and it's kind of bull crap. It takes all of the hard work and achievement out of it. Michael McDowell kicks everybody's ass one time, and because he's not like a top 10 most liked driver, everybody whinges, whines, and complains, and now we've got stage cautions back in road courses. It literally lasted 2 races, and NASCAR bailed on it. It's such bullshit, man. Like, I admit it, but Bubba made a lot of improvements this year, and next year, unfortunately, I see him winning a race to get in, says Nathan Urick. Yeah, he's improved a little bit every season. He's still super streaky. Like I said, he really reminds me. I don't want to compare him to Ricky Stenhouse because I feel like he surpassed Ricky Stenhouse as far as like getting wins and stuff like that. But he does remind me of Ricky Stenhouse and how streaky he can be. But other than and because like he either finishes well or he wrecks. That's what I'm saying. And so like if he can clean up the wrecks, much like Ricky Stenhouse did this year, like he caught on fire today, but that wasn't necessarily his fault. And they had obviously some other issue as they came in earlier for something else with the car. But if he can clean up the DNFs and stuff like that, I feel like Bubba Wallace would contend every season to at least get into the playoffs. Brad's a tough guy. He'll get this thing humming next season, says Sonny V. He's got it humming this season, man. Like, if you compare this season to last season, man, what a 180-degree turnaround for the 6 car. Did Stenhouse go a lap down in the first stage? He went 2 laps down in the first stage. He ends up getting back on the lead lap, and he ends up fighting. At one point, he was in the top 20, I want to say. And then his car just randomly catches on fire. So it's pretty crazy. BB, have you tried the new Snoop cereal for breakfast? Says OJ. I have not tried it. I do remember it coming out, but I haven't tried it yet, so I have to check that one out. And I forgot to say, I love your channel, says David Griffith. I appreciate you, David Griffith. I appreciate all you guys for hanging out and chatting here. Hard to believe Toyota makes up half of the remaining playoffs, says Tim Brace. They've had a heck of a season, man. Like, you can't take anything away from Toyota. They did their homework in the offseason, and they got way better. Good luck with your Niners tonight, Kyle, says one wise guy. Yeah, I think everybody that's not a Cowboys fan wants to see the 49ers win tonight. Cowboys fans they're not quite as bad as Philly fans, but Dallas fans, when they win, they're really good at letting the world know about it. Whereas Philly Eagle fans are just in general miserable people to deal with. If you're a Phillies Eagles fan, I'm in every word of that. Number 5, still riding. BB, I love the channel. Appreciate you there, Mike Concho. PC gone rogue. The fire was caused because Rookie was playing with matches. Says PC gone rogue. Could be. Listening to the dinner is ready. Kikabosa and cabbage tonight, says Mark Barnum. I'm not familiar with that one. I think that's the type of sausage, but the cabbage for sure sounds good on this nice chilly evening. In between the lanes, what's up? What's up to you as well? If we had the current points but no playoffs, Byron would lead Hamlin by 4 points. Talking about the what's it called? The Latford system, the old Latford system. First time with Mavis tires and brakes colors. Denny Hamlin didn't have a good finish. Always ran well with them, says in between the lanes. It is the first time that he's actually run bad in that paint scheme. Once again, they need to darken the green just a little bit or do something different with the yellow, but it has potential. That color scheme has potential. I'm not crying. You are. Let's freaking go. AJ wins are always the most fun wins. Love the amount of heart and soul he pours into the team and the performance, says Eric Sipes. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Like that dude, he puts it out there, wears his heart on his sleeve, and you can tell that's kind of why Chris Rice and Matt Kaulig like him. You can tell they're the same type of guys like that. So really good win for them. They have had such a rough season. It was really good to see Kaulig get a win. Like, people almost write them off. Like, I remember they announced, Daniel Hemrick coming up there, and everybody's like, "Oh, big deal. Who cares?" Like, and even when it was rumored that bigger drivers were going there, it's a shame they're going in that terrible Kaulig equipment. So this is a huge win for Kaulig, and I'm super glad that Kaulig got that win. because I know they're doing good things over there. They've just had a frustrating season. It's just been a frustrating season for them. Like AJ Allmendinger said in the interview there, he said they've had it's been an up and down season for them. So for sure, good win for them. Byron would have come back from the greenhouse penalty earlier in the year in the old point system, says Napa Racing fan. Oh yeah, Byron's had a great season, no doubt about it. Denny got beat by your favorite driver, all of them, says Eric Sipes. Oh my goodness, that's funny. That's funny. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Had the Totino's pizza roll scheme today. He says in between the lanes. No doubt about it. That's that's funny. I didn't even think about that, Eric Sipes. Somebody should tweet that out. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. had the Totino's pizza. Oh yeah. That pizza scheme roll was good, man. Or pizza roll scheme was good. And also the interesting thing about that, it's got Harris Teeter on it. And we used to have Kroger's down here, and they switched them all over to Harris Teeter for whatever reason. So it was actually really interesting to see Harris Teeter and not Kroger on that car too, because they were in a region where there are no Kroger's anymore. So they put Harris Teeter on the car. So I thought that was a smart marketing strategy by the people that own Kroger and whatever the name of that group is that owns all that stuff. Any schemes you like? I love the Totino's pizza roll one. The Lido scheme always looks really good. Daniel Suarez with I forget what kind of beverage that was. I did like his scheme as well. There was somebody in the Xfinity series, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, there were a few that actually stood out really well. Who else? Oh, Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick's Jordan paint scheme, the Concorde and what's that called? Whatever, I guess teal. That was a good looking scheme. Playoffs have become less legitimate by adding Atlanta. 2 road courses is okay, but 2 super speedways, 3 in the 1.5 months next year is too much. Yeah, I agree. They're trying to load up on something. They're trying to catch lightning in a bottle over and over again, and eventually it's going to wear out. Do you think Rockingham will host the All-Star race once they renovate and reopen it, says Jamie Schweitzer? I don't know about the All-Star race, but I do think that they will have truck and Xfinity races, and I think at some point they will have some type of cup race there. But I don't know if it'll be the All-Star or whatever. Chase Elliott in the 9 made it to the round of 8 in owners, 7 straight top 10s for Elliott. Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was funny to me when they were like, yeah, we expect Chase Elliott to pit. I was like, Chase Elliott is not going to pit because Chase Elliott is running for the Owners Championship. He's out there getting points kind of just like everybody else is doing. So it was funny to me that they always forget that Chase Elliott is out there, much like Bubba Wallace was last year, running for Owners points. And he has made it to the round of 8. One wise guy said merch, so I have posted the merch. The merch link is right there. If you want to get the T-shirts, hats, stickers, or whatever else we got up there right now, go ahead and check them out. It helps out the channel, and it is always much appreciated. Stenhouse burned his pizza rolls, says Eric Sipes, for sure. William Byron owns an up computer, says in between the lanes. Under Latford points, Hamlin would lead the championship by 9 points over Buescher. 3rd is Bell, 4th is Byron in 49, and 5th is Truex. Top 5 in contention takes the points lead. Says Chrome Diesel. Martin Truex Jr. Napa Racing fan says Martin Jr. Martin Truex Jr. The regular season champ missed in owners. Says Napa Racing fan. Oh, there you go. So Martin Truex Jr. is out of the owners deal because of the 9 car. That's interesting. I'm only rooting for the 49ers because I have their D and Kittle on my fantasy team. LOL. So say Kyle. Hopefully they come through for you. Kittle's had kind of a quiet season. That's because they keep running all the offense through CMC. George Rayner, Philly TH, talking about the Philly fans. Amazing Winston battle. If only the format still existed, had to make the sacrifice for entertainment's sake. All because Kenseth won the 2003 title, winning 1 race and clinching 1 race early. Says Napa Race fan. Yep. Matt Kenseth broke him. HP computer for Byron. Okay, I got you. HP computer for William Byron. Lenovo, of course, for Kyle Rowdy Busch. I do like that Lenovo scheme as well. Philly Eagles are the best, better than the rest, says George Rayner. Yeah, there you go. Fly, Eagles, fly, or whatever they say. They're your bad fans, though, are very, very annoying and aggressive. I saw the replay of Hamlin incident. Says in between the lanes. I'm honestly kind of glad Byron got P2. All these races, race win diecasts are getting really expensive. Now you know how the year that Larson won 10 races, I just had to stop after 4. I was like, I'm just not doing it. I'm thinking I'm thinking king of swiping the Blue State Kyle Busch racing sign along with Highway 150 in Mooresville. Now that it's gone, says Jamie Schweitzer. Hey, there you go. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear or see anything, my friend. Did Suarez speak to Bill? I didn't see anything in the post coverage. Yeah, the funniest thing ever was when Christopher Bell came over the radio and said, "Did I touch him?" I'm like, "Dude, did you touch him? Do you think he just spun out by himself that bad?" Like, that was pretty funny. Bologna Burger makes for great Christmas gifts. Jamie Schweitzer with the super chat. Appreciate you, my friend. And I didn't realize, but there you go. I can hit the heart button on these now. So there you go. I lost the 6 today. It was in my final 4. Still rolling with the 24, the 5, and the 11. That's definitely a strong 3 out of 4. I think you're good with those 3. What is everyone's thoughts? Should NASCAR make a rule for 2024 for road courses? Any road course under 3 miles should have stage breaks, and over 3 miles, no stage break yellows. I mean, they could make that, or they could just get rid of the stage breaks altogether and just stop crying that that Michael McDowell embarrassed all of the Cup Series regulars. He's a Cup Series regular too, but he's definitely a road course ace because that's where you got to start. With Winston points, drivers could add some better recognition and more star power. All what the playoff does is focus on camera and bubble drivers. I agree. 100% agree with that. I'm hoping either Blaney or Byron can take the Cup over Hamlin. Statistically, Denny Hamlin is due for one, but also statistically, Denny Hamlin never wins. So it just depends on which statistic you want to look at. Denny Hamlin always has some of the best seasons of all time and just never wins for whatever reason. So let's see here. Chrome Diesel, I take the original chase over the playoffs. I think most people would be okay if we went back to the original chase format. Rowdy was up front at one point. Says in between the lanes. Yeah, he took the lead. He did everything he could possibly do to win that race, and unfortunately, it just wasn't to be for him today. I was worried that the new restart zone would mess up restarts, but I was pleasantly surprised. I actually kind of prefer the new one. Hot take, says Eric Sykes. I didn't even notice it, to be totally honest with you. It looked like the person on the inside did at least, as long as they didn't spin the tires, did at least have a chance. You saw Ty Gibbs get him on the restart, get AJ Allmendinger on the restart on one of those, but then he couldn't hold it. So the inside car does at least have a chance with the new restart zone. I don't love having Atlanta or Daytona after the Daytona 500 next year, but would rather have that than 3 super speedways in 1.5 months in the playoff stretch. Really hope Texas doesn't become a 1.6. Already too many. 6 is already too many. Yeah, for sure. But you know that's what they're going to do to Texas. I mean, it's almost a guarantee. Just like last year when all the Wilkesboro stuff was the craze, it was almost a guarantee everything was going to be a short track. Now it's just a craze that everything's going to be a 1.5. Nobody wants to do anything original anymore. It's all what's working. Let's do that. Nobody has any originality or creativity. It's kind of sad. Our fans might get that it's better to put a great string of races rather than have one great round. Yeah. No more stage breaks, says one wise guy. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Thanks. You kept a real good show, says George Rayner. I appreciate you, George. Stenhouse burned the pizza rolls, says Cody. Yeah, for sure. Going to be interesting to see what happened. Did he cut an oil line, or was it another random spontaneous car of tomorrow, or whatever it's called, catching on fire, new next gen car of tomorrow, Junior the third. Stage breaks should end before the new TV deal. I hope so. But unfortunately, I don't see it happening. John Irby says, I watched the race through Chase Elliott's in-car. He got screwed by the stage break. He had the fastest car. Yeah, I think him and Tyler Reddick probably had the 2 fastest cars, but couldn't, once they got back in traffic, couldn't get to the front. Probably had to use up or degrade the tires to get to where they were at anyway. But yeah, I think those 2 had something to say about it. I think AJ Allmendinger would have had something to say about it. But just the way the stage breaks fell, like some people, because it's a cutoff race, some people had to go for points and some people didn't. Let's see here. Chrome Diesel Slap did a video on last year's race on Phoenix, and it was possibly rigged by NASCAR. So that's interesting. Yeah. I saw that. He wasn't saying it was rigged. He was just saying it will lead to more people talking about that. Keslowski with Castro Edge. In between. Yeah, that's without a doubt their best looking paint schemes. Imagine if Elliott's one win this year was at Phoenix and he wins the Owners' Championship. Who will be angrier? TV, because drivers. is all that matters. Drivers winning drivers championships, confused fans, says Napa Racing fan. I guess so. Yeah, TV basically controls the deal. Let me go. Oh, whoa. Let me get this skip ads. There you go. They're fixing to hit you guys with an ad. I just skipped it, so we're good to go. Hopefully, no ads show up because I did hit skip there. But if you see an ad, let me know. I can't do anything about it, but at least I'll know they're ignoring me skipping ads. Logano will ruin the championship for Hamlin somehow. He might. I don't know. He might. RJ, number 68 since 2014, a championship race was won by a championship 4 driver. Yeah, he said a perfect 9 for 9, if I'm not mistaken. So, and he said in the other series, it is not nearly that close. And he said it leads to speculation that people are going to say that their NASCAR is making the other drivers lay over. And he used the evidence of Ryan Blaney looking angry in his post-race interview for Phoenix. I know Dale Jr. in the booth today. He was sick. He tweeted out that he was sick, so that's why he wasn't in there. Chrome Diesel, Newman almost broke the playoffs in 2014. Newman was close. Matt Crafton did it in the Truck Series, though. And Daniel Hemrick basically, I think he won the last race, but he basically did it in the Xfinity Series playoffs. I think the 99 dumps the 20 in the next 3 weeks, says Say Kyle. Ooh, that's a good question. He could possibly do that, and I could possibly see the 23 dump the 99. So I could see all kinds of stuff, and possibly the number 2 of Austin Cindric. It could be like a fatal 4-way or just a Royal Rumble, really, because you could see all those cars maybe getting some payback on each other. Kyle finished 3rd and lost points. Of course, it would be a bigger deal when the 99 does it to the 20 because the 20 is in the playoffs. Kyle finished 3rd and lost points. Is like yeah, it was just a weird day. Some people got a bunch of bonus points relative to the bonus points he got. Why is everyone trying to push out the Roval? If I had my choice, Indy would get 2 dates. 1 oval and 1 road course, give Daytona a road course, and in there to plus Charlotte, especially since there's no Bristol dirt. Yeah, so Mike Menzer, I'm actually not opposed to that. I think every racetrack should get 1 date unless they have a different configuration of that racetrack, with the exception of Daytona and Talladega. Glad AJ won today for Kaulig. He doesn't get wins too often, says Artie. Yeah, it was a big win for him and also a big win for Kaulig. They needed that momentum. You think Dinger comes back to Cup after this win? I don't know what's going on with that. It's so weird. Hopefully they'll announce what they're going to do sooner rather than later as far as that deal goes. Because I don't know which way they'll go with it. Because Kaulig, they're the most unpredictable story of the season, in my opinion. Spire is the most entertaining because of what they just did, but I feel like Kaulig is just the most unpredictable. I think when they reconfigure Texas Motor Speedway, they should make it a figure-8 track. With a bridge for safety reasons, says Jamie Schweitzer. I thought on Slap's latest video. Thoughts on Slap's latest video. I mean, he was just giving his opinion. I don't think he's actually saying NASCAR is fixing races. He's just saying the fact that 9 years out of 9 years, somebody that's in the playoffs has won the final race. So he's saying they're not fixing the races, but they're telling the other drivers that aren't in the playoffs to sort of lay over, which could be true. I know 1 year at Miami, Kyle Larson was not laying over. He was going for the win, and he hit the wall. So I don't know. Yeah, the other drivers haven't won, but it's not like some of the other drivers haven't tried to win either. So Pat McAfee to sponsor Rowdy Bush, that would be cool. Hail Melon was fun, but I didn't attract any new fans to the sport. Oh, you're talking about the aspect of it? Yeah, because, I mean, at the end of the day, how can you attract fans with the Hail Melon? Because it was a one-time thing. It's sort of like a gimmick. Like, a gimmick is cool to get eyes one time, but you can't keep doing it over and over again. One, if you keep doing it over and over again, people will get tired of it. That's the thing about gimmicks. They don't have a good shelf life. So it's good to go viral on TikTok, like he was saying, I agree, but it's not going to grow the sport. How you grow the sport is to give the fans, the diehard true fans, what they want. And those fans are going to be your best marketing tool because they're going to get excited about it. They're going to tell other people about it. They will bring their friends. And if it is as good as what they tell their friends, that's how you grow the sport. You don't grow the sport with a bunch of gimmicks like the playoffs and all kinds of other stuff all kinds of other nonsense that they've tried here recently. Ryan Please was a blocking fool. He nearly wrecked Elliott and Kyle Larson. Chase Briscoe was right there with him there, John Irby. Chase Briscoe was he was doing his best Ryan Newman impression as well. I was surprised, and that's what you do as a race car driver. So I'm not complaining. I was surprised to see the Panthers lost to the Lions in this year in a few games. Says RJ, yeah, I mean, it's just interesting. I don't know. I don't really keep up with the Panthers or the Lions just because I assume they're both going to be bad every year. Texas is the closest thing I have to a home track. Therefore, for the good of nothing against Panthers and Lions fans, I'm sorry. I just assume your team's not going to be good every year. Texas is the closest thing I have to a home track. Therefore, for the good of the sport, I don't want Texas to become a super speedway. However, selfishly, I really do want to see it. I'm torn, says Eric Sykes. Hey, look, if you like super speedways, like, go for it. I'm just saying, from my perspective, I don't want too many of any one type of track. Like, I just want different tracks. I want to see 3 burnouts at once at Phoenix. Harvick winning his final race, Elliott winning the owners, and the drivers winning the drivers. Total burnout, Pandalirium, says Napa Racing fan. That would be pretty cool. Saw the same issue yesterday with Kligerman. Took him a whole race to get back to 6th. Can't pass on a track with all the sweeping turns. I need to make the turns tighter. Only able to pass on the oval. Yeah, that's probably a fair point. There's probably some things they could look at reconfiguring to improve passing zones. Restart zones at Charlotte and Indy have their reasons, but it takes a lot of action out of restarts, says Brickyard Bricka. Yeah. And part of the reason they're taking that action out is because these guys like to wreck each other. Even on these restarts, they still managed to wreck each other a couple times. I didn't see much of, and Austin Dillon at one point to come back. Where did he end up finishing? He spun early in the last one of those restarts. He spun out early, and he had worked his way back up to like 16th. And I was like, how did he get up to 16th? Where did he end up finishing? I'm sure he fell back. Nope, he got up to 14th. He was one spot behind Kyle Larson. Like, Austin Dillon, I thought he was done. I thought that was like another wreck. He was done for the day. And they never even really showed what happened with the Austin Dillon thing. But he ended up finishing 14th. I was like, how did he get there? Anyway, let's see. Didn't see much of Almirola with the IHOP sponsorship. The IHOP car did look pretty good though. I don't know where he was at today on the track. To make Texas a short track, they'd have to tear it down and start over. That's what most people want anyway. I think they could just fix one of the turns and it would probably be okay. NASCAR probably just tighten or expand one of the turns significantly. NASCAR probably wouldn't like it if Elliott won the owners because if their flawed point system, they want drivers and owners to be the same, even though they can't be. Yeah, that would it would at least start a conversation. And it would give Chase Elliott. They need to promote it more because like it's something that Chase Elliott fans can pull for, but they don't ever talk about it. And I feel like that's intentional from NASCAR side of it. Charlotte's Roval is fun, but a number of cookie cutter tracks are Rovals. Iowa being one of them. LOL. How close is Rockingham to getting a Cup race again? Trucks or Xfinity? I think they're really close to getting trucks and Xfinity. I don't know about the Cup Series. We're just gonna have to see how all that plays out because at some point you got to assume California is coming back with another track. Napa Racing Fan 927. I want to see them gain one of Vegas's dates. Says RJ Suarez will be a Deegan fan since she has a tequila sponsor. Says Mark Barnum. Got to head out. See y'all Tuesday. Appreciate the time, BB. I appreciate you as always. Say Kyle. Let's see. Chrome Diesel. I enjoy the Roval. Gives Charlotte something unique, but I'm just not a fan of track having 2 dates. Having 1 date can make every race more of a specialty. Rockingham is independently owned. I don't know what track could get swapped for it. Yeah, so they would literally just have to take a date or sell the track to somebody like Marcus Smith. Did you catch Kligerman trying to edge out Hemrick yesterday? I did see that. I didn't see it live, but I saw the replay. Wise guy. I liked Briscoe's scheme of the Ford Performance Racing School. Yeah, that's always a good one. That's actually the T-shirt I've got from him from the Busch Series and the number 98. It's got the Cobra Mustang logo on the front of it. It bothers me that if you look up NASCAR highlights, the videos will pretty much only show the wrecks. When I try to show people NASCAR, I have to show the full race replays, says JFB. Yeah, that's fair. And that's what I'm saying. Like that, I mean, the wrecks are repeatable and they're not a gimmick. But you hate like bring somebody to the racetrack trying to just watch wrecks. That's kind of dark. The Charlotte poll says it all. The Roval is an epic fail, but AJ shows everyone he's a real road racer. So yeah, 80% for the oval right now. I remember on a home improvement, Randy was working with a woman in hospice, and she said she wouldn't move until the Lions win a Super Bowl. Maybe happen someday, says RJ. Sounds like you might have a good YouTube channel idea. Take clips and make a good highlight channel. Just saying, says Eric Sipes. Hey, Eric Sipes. So there you go. You can make a positive I posted Dale Jr. It wasn't necessarily, I guess technically not NASCAR, but from the Cars Tour Wilkesboro race. I posted Dale Sr. or Dale Jr.'s highlights of him passing cars and racing people, and it did pretty good. Let's see here. It's one of the better ones I've ever done, and I didn't even talk in it. Like one of the best at the time. It was the best, most viewed video ever made, and I don't even talk on. I don't say a word on it. I just show, there's no sound effects to it or anything. I just show Dale Jr. Running at Wilkesboro, and it did really well because it was one of those stories you don't have to say any words to it. The story tells itself. I would like to see them show the awesome passing or strategy and other drama, says JFE. Thanks, BB, Shaw, Napa, say Kyle for another great live cast. Peace. Don't forget to take your poll down, says Jamie Schweitzer. I always leave it up until I sign off on purpose. It's just traditions. Napa Racing fan, I don't even know what the owner's points are after today. Just know the 9 ran well enough to advance. Yep, he got that stage win, and then he got like a, let's see, did he get a top 10? Yeah, he finished 9th, so he got a top 10. We said, let's go, AJ. Let's see here. And Napa Racing fan says, peace. I'll check you later, Napa Racing fan. Ty Gibbs with the Interstate Batteries colors. Out of all the Joe Gibbs racing drivers, who rocks the colors the best? It's always best when it's got a red number. I wish they had done that black car that he ran last week, except put a red number on it. Like a red number on that black car with the green Interstate Batteries and the green Lightning. That would have been the most elite that they've had in a long time. Of course, the original OG Dale Jarrett number 18 Chevrolet Lumina was the best looking one. Followed shortly thereafter by the sort of the jagged looking one Bobby Labonte drove. But yeah, the Kyle Busch one is iconic as well. And that black one that Ty Gibbs drove, if they put a red number on it, that'll be an all-timer as well. Let's see. RJ Bumblebee, that was a good one for AJ. He's a good racer, no doubt. Reminds me of old Jim Clark. A few races too late. EV, says Mark Barnum. Mark, I'm bummed out. Montreal didn't get a date. Only race where gimmicks are okay for me is the All-Star race. Not too many, just a few, says Napa. Yeah, it works for the All-Star race. There's no doubt about that. The All-Star race is where you should try the gimmicks and see if they're sustainable. NASCAR makes a new car for safety, then adds more super speedway races. Yep, sounds safe. Says I like dislike. RJ, get Canada to change their policies, and they will get one, says Mark Barnum. RJ says, Napa Racing fan, gimmicks should be a one-time thing. Having them as a regular thing is dumb, to be honest. I wanted Montreal also, but Iowa was the next best option. Yeah, Iowa is a good consolation prize. And I hate to say Iowa's a consolation prize because a lot of people have wanted that race for a long time. Iowa should have been on the Cup schedule 10 years ago. B saying, yeah, Mark Barnum, but we will take it. Napa Racing fan, that's Chrome Diesel talking to Napa Racing fan saying, yeah, that's what killed the All-Star specialty segment racing was implemented everywhere. And now every weekend is the All-Star race. That's a fair point. Dale Sr., the last RCR championship was 1994. Next year will be the 30th anniversary. Good luck to them in 2024. Oh, man. Like, if they could get one in 2024, that would be so cool. Mark Barnum, we'd have to – also, I'm old as crap, just so you know. That makes me feel old as shit. Let's see. Mark Barnum, we'd have to vote Trudeau administration first, says RJ. I don't like gimmicks being regular either. I don't love gimmicks in the All-Star race either, but I'm okay with it for a non-points event. Yeah, non-points event, I think it works. 19 was knocked out of the round of 8 in owner's points. That means the regular season champ didn't make it to their round of 8. Has that ever happened before? I think Kevin Harvick missed maybe the round of 8 one year, but I could be wrong about that. No. He missed the final 4 because he tried to wreck Kyle Busch at Martinsville. Will Ty finish the season with a win? He could. He keeps getting faster and faster. I think he'll definitely get a win next year or the year after that, though. Within his first 3 years, he'll have his first win. Napa Racing fan, Iowa was pretty similar to Richmond, but me thinks Rusty had Okanichi's reconfigure plans on hand, says RJ. It could be. Christopher Bell to the Oklahoma Sooners, says in between the lanes. Besides Carson and Barry, who is the next big prospect for 25 for the team to watch? That is a good question. I want to say Corey Heim. I'd put Corey Heim up there. Carson Voppel would be another one. William Sawalich. Not a lot of people talk about William Sawalich. I would put William Sawalich up there. That is somebody, by 2025 especially, that is somebody that you're not hearing a lot about right now, but that guy can absolutely wheel a race car. So I would say probably the guy that's not getting talked about at all, William Sawalich. He'll be a big name here in the near future, I think. Denny Hamlin's car today won the prize for ugliest color scheme of the race, says John Irby. Yeah, that Mavis car, they got to do something with that hue of green. The yellow and green goes good together, but not that yellow and green. I got to say this with honesty, there's legitimately moments where Aaron AJ is one of the best drivers in racing. He has more talent than he ever gets credit for. Let's face it, he won that race. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they didn't talk about him until there was like 20 laps to go. Then they finally acknowledged that AJ Allmendinger was leading that race and had been leading that race and had been kicking everybody's tail for a while. I was very similar to Richmond. Only difference is a wider track with more grooves, also a worn-out surface. The worn-out surface is going to be key for Iowa. That's why it's going to put on a better race than Richmond. Is Iowa concrete or asphalt? Duke, I think it's asphalt, but it might be concrete. I can't remember. Duke Chronic, I think Kyle could get his first championship with RCR in 2024. I hope so. Asphalt. So there you go. It is asphalt. I dislike asphalt. RJ, nice bringing up Jimmy Clark. Watched him about every practice day in May. Says Brickyard Brickhead. Jim also won the Indy 500 with the Wood brothers. Says RJ. So there you go. I don't have a lot of Indy 500 facts, so that is a good one for the channel there. DeWalt with some nice schemes for Christopher Bell. Yeah, DeWalt always does a good job. There are some companies that just always do a good job. Interstate Batteries would be one of them. DeWalt would be one of them. Budweiser / Busch Light or whatever, they always do a good job with their paint schemes. Until this year, McDonald's usually always did a good job with their paint schemes. I hate that gray that they put on the McDonald's car this year. Leidos has done a good job with their paint schemes every time they've been on a car. Coors always does. I know they're not in the sport anymore, but Coors always did a good job with theirs. STP has never missed. It's pretty much always the same, but STP has never missed. Kellogg's, I never saw a bad Kellogg's car. I never saw a bad Goodwrench car. Motorcraft, anything on the Wood Brothers car always looks good. Whether it was Sitco or Motorcraft, that always looked good. So there are some that always just always do really well. Exalta, whenever they're actually doing DuPont Exalta stuff, they always look good. However, when they do the Raptor stuff and whatever William Byron had on his car today, Steve Letarte does not have eyes. Like that dude is blind. He was like, man, that 24 looks clean. That's a nice looking scheme. I was like, dude, what are you talking about? That was quite possibly somebody looking at the Raptor car and said, how can I make something uglier? Thank God that car didn't win today, because then there would actually be die casts of that car. That is quite possibly the ugliest car. You do not put yellow and white together. You cannot differentiate them with your eyeballs, and it looked like complete trash. Rant over. All right, that's enough of that one. Sammy Smith, yeah, Sammy Smith for sure. Sammy Smith is another one locked in with the Junior Motorsports deal, so he's definitely going to be another one to watch for sure. With iRacing getting console rights for NASCAR, I think we'll finally get that sequel to NASCAR 2003. I just want to see some dirt to Daytona. Let's just see somebody take it back to dirt to Daytona. 71% of America is taking the 49ers. Hey, there you go. 71% of America is tired of Cowboy fans filling up their timelines and yelling at them at work the next day. San Francisco 34, Dallas 24. That's Napa's pick. RJ, the Woods single-handedly changed pit stops forever, says Brickyard Brickhead. Yeah, for sure. And also Junior Johnson, he had some innovative pit strategy tricks as well. He didn't change them forever, but he got his particular move outlawed, where he would throw his he would throw the jack around and intentionally hit the officials on purpose. Their current McDonald's scheme looked like the test car. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks like a test car, Chrome Diesel. When watching preseason Thunder back in the day, yeah, for sure. That's exactly what it reminds me of. How do you think Haley Deegan will do next year in Xfinity? I think she'll be fine. I think she'll finish top 20 in points, and I think that's a good starting spot for her. Switching leagues or whatever, or switching series. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, top 20, that's nothing. I think it'll be a solid start. Top 15 to top 20 in points would be a good jump off point. Brickyard Brickhead, the Woods family will always have my respect. Ricky Rudd was one of my favorites as a kid. Wish he could have gotten that last win with him. Yeah, Ricky Rudd, he as far as people he drove for, he had an epic list of teams that he drove for, including himself. That pink and blue Coors Light 42 that Kyle Petty drove to Victory Lane in 1995 at Dover. His last win, by the way, was fire, says Eric Sipes. Yeah, that's one of my favorite Coors Light cars of all time. I'm with you. 27-24 Niners, says one wise guy. SDP was great. Oh, by the way, I prefer the Roval. Now that everybody has voted, I prefer the Roval over the Oval. Because I want them to have two different types of racetracks. SDP was great, and GM Goodwrench. Oh yeah, for sure. Those are two iconic ones. Whenever you think about it, you just don't even have to think about it. You immediately see a car. If I say SDP, you see either a all blue 43 or you see a red and blue 43. If I say GM Goodwrench, you see a black number 3 like that. Unless you were born in the Kevin Harvick era and don't remember Dale Sr. at all, then you might remember the silver and black and red number 29. But immediately one jumps to your mind, and they're all good. Same thing with if I say Wood Brothers, you don't even have to say a sponsor. You just say Wood Brothers. You see a white car with a red roof and a gold number. It's dope. SDP was a great band too. Yeah, Stone Temple Pilots. Rest in peace. I can't call the lead. I usually know his name, but I can't call it off the top of my head. Who replaced? Was it Scott? No, Scott something. I think I can't remember it off the top of my head. Who replaces Deegan at Thor Sport? Frankie Munoz. Oh, that's a good question, and I think you're right. It just 100% makes sense, and it would be a plug and play. So that'll be interesting. I want to see. I think it'll be Munoz because he hinted at going to trucks. Thor drops the 13 truck and runs 66 with Connor Jones. Connor Jones is another good one. Cars Tour guy. Munoz full time to trucks. Why not? Yeah, he's already hinted at it. Dale Jr. gets. Hope Dale Jr. gets well soon. He's got the old fall blues. Cold suck. Get well, says Bumblebee. Yep. For sure. You watched Ellie's new video about the 1979 season. I have not seen that. So I'll have to check that one out. Will you please, Dawson Fair, what's up, man? Will you please take off your hat for a second, Bologna Burger? Yeah, there you go. I took it off for 1 second. There it is. The hat came off for 1 second. Byron Larson and Hamlin lead the season with the most top fives. Byron leads with the most wins, top tens, and 18. So there you go. And to me, those guys have had the best seasons, and whoever slots in fourth, I think all three of those guys are going to make the Final Four unless something crazy happens. For the longest time, I thought Truex was going to be that clear fourth guy that's had the best season, but he has just had a rough playoffs. In between the lanes, I have it on good word that Munoz is going to the 28 in Xfinity. Could be wrong, but the guy is rarely wrong, says Eric Sipes. And so that random Twitter account that has an awful name that I can't even say on YouTube, he's saying that Riley Herbst is going to be the other Rick Ware car next season. So go ahead, and he's been right so far. And I hate to use that dude as a source. Private P, old Private P, he's saying that Riley Herbst is going to the other Rick Ware car. And I've looked at all this stuff. He's been accurate. He doesn't tweet too often, but when he does, he's been accurate. So you can go ahead and there's a good chance that Riley Herbst is going to be the other driver there with Justin Haley at Rick Ware Racing next season. So I did see that. Like I said, that's from him. That's not confirmed by me or anything else. That's just the Private P on Twitter. If you know, you know. I'm actually splitting time with Frankie Munoz in the 13 F-150 with Barstool Sports Funding. Says in between the lanes, Wood Brothers needs a road course ringer for the 100th wins. That's one wise guy. That would be something they could possibly do. Maybe grab who they should really, because they used to do an extra car back in the day. Bring one extra car and get somebody like Scott McLaughlin from IndyCar. He's already within the Penske organization. I would get Scott McLaughlin to drive, and I know Scott McLaughlin is into NASCAR racing. Get Scott McLaughlin to drive the extra whatever they would number it for the Wood Brothers, and let him have a go at getting the Wood Brothers that 100th win that they're looking for. Harrison isn't giving up his seat for some ringer. Yeah, I'm not saying Harrison give up the seat. I'm just saying bring in an extra car. Like back in the day, they would run David Pearson and who was somebody. Did they run Andretti? I don't think Holman and Moody ran Andretti. I thought, and daggum, he was a mess. Dan Gurney. I think Dan Gurney is the one that the Wood Brothers ran. I might be mistaken. It was before my time. I'm just trying to remember. I think the Wood Brothers ran Dan Gurney. Someone on Twitter said Herbst is going to JGR. I don't believe it until I see it. I mean, yeah, I'm not going with someone on Twitter. I'm just going with a guy on Twitter that has been right 90% of the time. He's saying he's going to Rick Ware Racing. So, I mean, take it for what it's worth. It is a rumor, but that guy's been right a lot more times than he's been wrong. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens. But I would put stock in it. It would not, at this point, it would not surprise me if Riley Herbst goes to Rick Ware Racing next season. Will SHR drop the Xfinity program in 2024? Nope, they'll keep Cole Custer. Bring back Helio to drive it. LOL says Bumblebee. That would be a great ride for Helio. Like that would be a great ride for him. People get mad when I call him Helio. It's Elio. So if I say Helio, sorry, that's just a mispronunciation. I can't believe I'm going to say this because I hate HMS, but I think this is the 24 cars year. HMS sucks. Says like this, like, yeah, I got the same feeling. I feel like it's a William Byron type year. It was Dan Gurney. I appreciate you, Bumblebee. Ford's development system right now is totally empty. Lack of teams and drivers, says Napa Racing Fan. Yeah, they just seem to be poaching from other teams. I haven't said this in a while, but let's say it. Listen, I'm going to say this, says In Between the Lanes. Was with the Woods. It says Bumblebee talking about Dan Gurney. So I was right. I did remember that properly. There is a lack of Ford Xfinity teams other than SHR. RFK needs to bring back their Xfinity operation, says Chrome Diesel. Matt DiBenedetto should have had the 100th win for the Wood Brothers at Talladega. Yep, unfortunately, he picked the wrong lane to block, and it is what it is. Byron is benefiting from only 2 HMS cars in the playoffs. I mean, yeah, you can say that, but he's had a heck of a season for sure. BB, what's your favorite or least favorite thing about the 2024 schedule, good and bad? My least favorite thing, I was hoping North Wilkesboro would get a points-paying race. That way you could have the all-star race somewhere different and unique. I want to see if they're going to do what they're doing with the Busch Clash. I'd like to see the all-star race rotate to some tracks that we might not go to on a regular basis. But since Wilkesboro didn't get a points-paying race, I understand Wilkesboro being the all-star race. So that's probably my disappointment. The biggest thing I like is obviously Iowa being on the schedule. My other disappointments would be Road of America. Like, you had a chance to go back to Road of America, and instead of going back to Road of America in the Cup Series, you dropped it from the Xfinity Series too. So that was another big kick in the nuts to Road America. So those are probably my most disappointing moments as far as that goes. Let's see. I've been predicting that this is Hamlin's year, but now that Byron has an average finish of 1.66 in the round of 12, I'm losing faith in that prediction, starting to really lean towards the 24. Like I'm saying, like William Byron, he's just got to be your odds-on favorite. Everybody else, like it's the playoffs, anything can happen. Everybody else has a fighting chance because at the end of the day, it's one race for a title. But William Byron has, as far as since the playoffs have started, he's been the most consistent. Who was driving the Project 56 car before the race? I don't know, but Mike Rockenfeller was in the race, and he was one of the drivers of the Project or the Garage 56 car. I don't know who drove it before the race, though. Would the All-Star race be cool at Sonoma? Says OJ and Toothpaste. On Earth, too, it would be cool at Sonoma, and we would put dirt on the track and all kinds of other stuff. Water traps and hazards and all kinds of weird nonsense. Way more bad than good for the schedule, not because of the tracks other than Texas, because of the mess they created. Adding Iowa was the only A-plus move, says Napa Racing Fan. I think that's how a lot of people feel. I hate 2 Richmond races in 1 year. Agreed with you, BB, says OJ and Toothpaste. Like dislike, that was me in between the lanes saying all we know is having the most playoff points never keeps you safe. Like Harvick in 2020, says Chrome Diesel. That's right, one bad race and you could be toast. 2 bad races and you're definitely toast, because that's definitely what happened to Kyle Busch. I got a question. What is your realistic thoughts on what they'll do to improve Texas? I think they'll just change one corner. I think realistically they just change one corner to make I forget which, is it 1 and 2 that sucks? I think they'll change 1 and 2 because I think 3 and 4 was okay. So I think they'll change 1 and 2, or whichever of those corners suck. I think they'll just change one corner. Yes, I love Road America. My favorite road course got dumped in Cup for Chicago Streets and Xfinity, probably due to the Olympics in 2024. It sucks. Yeah, so hopefully after the Olympics, they at least take the Xfinity Series back to Road America. if Road America will have them. They should have moved Sears Point to the spring, says one wise guy. Yeah, it's probably that's probably not a bad idea. I do agree with you there. Jimmy Johnson was driving the Garage 56 car pre-race. Okay, there you go. I heard Ron Fellows was driving the Garage 56 car. So there you go. We got conflicting reports. I have no idea. I got there. I turned the TV on. I think it was 3 laps into the race when I turned the TV on. So I didn't. I don't know. I heard it was Jimmy Johnson. Maybe they were both in it. Who knows? Maybe they were sitting in each other's laps. It could happen. You never know. Probably unlikely because you couldn't get the steering wheel on in a race car if you're sitting in somebody's lap, unless you're a very small child. But unlikely. I don't know. Bumblebee. I thought he was still in the UK. That's cool. I hope Harvick gets one more win before he retires. But I don't see it happening. Says OJ and Toothpaste. I hope he gets one more too. There's always a shot that he wins Phoenix and spoils the championship. Like it wouldn't spoil the championship, but you know what I'm saying. A non playoff driver winning Phoenix, that would be cool as crap. If Harvick could pull that off. 1 and 2 is what sucks at Texas. So yeah, my thoughts are that they'll change turns 1 and 2 and probably leave 3 and 4 alone. Why was moving Sonoma to the spring so hard? I guess they want dry land Sonoma in June. Not green Sonoma in March. Cardboard Cutout was driving the Garage 56. BB, are you excited to watch the Olympics next year? I always typically watch the Olympics. So yeah, I like the Winter Olympics better, but the Summer Olympics are cool. You get to see track and field, you get to see basketball, and other stuff. If Harvick's going to win, it'll be Martinsville or Phoenix. Martinsville is going to be a tough one. He's won there before, but for whatever reason, Stewart Haas Racing typically not great there. Phoenix, I think I'm with you on Phoenix though. I think Phoenix will be it. Race broadcast was rough to watch without Junior, says Uptown Donkey. Jeff Burton, he was not on his game today. That's all I'll say. Turn 1 and 2, and I like Jeff Burton. I'm not trying to take a shot at him. He said some random stuff that just didn't make any sense today. Mark Barnum was driving the Garage 56, says Bumblebee. Laughing my butt off, sitting on their lap, says OJ and Toothpaste. Kickoff, see you Tuesday. All right, so the game's kicking off. So I am going to read through these, and then I'm going to jump off here myself. Was Dale Jr. calling the race today? Nope, he was sick. He was out. Uptown Donkey confirming there. Aaron Flynn laughing. OJ, he's sick with bronchitis or bronchitis, depending on how you pronounce it. I didn't watch the races and forgot to record it. Went camping this weekend, says OJ and Toothpaste. It actually was a pretty good, in my opinion, I thought it was a pretty good race. So catch the replay on YouTube's, and it'll be all good. After the 64, just fast forward to the last stage, really. After the 64 IndyCar crash, smaller fuel cells were mandated. That made faster stops a must. Colin Chapman's connection with Ford got the woods, says Brickyard Brickhead. So that's pretty cool. Per Bob Procris, Cup Tech is complete, no issues. AJ is your winner, says Chrome Diesel. All right, it's official. AJ Allmendinger gets that dub. I hate to say it, but I didn't notice Junior wasn't in the booth until somebody said something. Should wear a bulletproof vest when I go out now? Not because Jeff Burton sounds just like him, Eric Sykes. Jeff Burton is not a very good commentator. He acts like he's won 5 championships, says OJ and Toothpaste. He was pretty good race car driver. He just said some crazy stuff today. Like he was like during the Christopher Bell, Daniel Suarez situation, he's like, Daniel Suarez is not going to like that. He's really going to be mad later on. And I was like, dude, Daniel Suarez literally just wrecked Austin Centric and Bubba Wallace, and you're worried about Daniel Suarez being mad at somebody else. So I don't know. It was pretty funny. Like dislike says hit the like button. So yeah, if you want to hit the like button, it would be much appreciated. And there's the merch if you want to check out the merch store. And other than that, thanks for your time. I'll check you guys on Tuesday for the live stream.